This lesson is going to be about creating a data table in Google Sheets. Learning target is to be able to organize and format a data table in Google Sheets. So you're going to start off by going to drive.google.com. You can also go to sheets.google.com. I personally like going to Google Drive better because then I can organize things in folders. I'm not very familiar with how to do that in Sheets, but you can do the same thing in Google Drive. So that's why I go to Google Drive. So we'll go to drive.google.com. We're going to go up to New and go down to Google Sheets. It's going to open up a spreadsheet. If you've ever worked on Excel, it's kind of similar to that. And so I'm going to name this one 2.4 making a data table in Google Sheets. That'll work. And so once you get up to here, you can see that on the top part, we have all these columns that are labeled with letters A, B, C, D, and we have all the rows that are labeled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this cell right here would be called A1 because it has the column of A and the row of 1. And I can move around this spreadsheet by pushing the enter button is what I'm doing right now, and that's going to move me up and down. I can push the tab button to move to the right, and I can use the arrow keys to move myself around here. So right now I'm finding D5, and right here I'm finding E9 is my cell. And so that'll be important if you start getting into some formulas and things like that, which we won't cover in this lesson. And so the first thing that you're going to type in here is in A1, you're going to type in master field trip list. And you should have this figure A in your resources. So if you don't have that in front of you, go find that and make sure you have it in a separate tab so that you can look back on it for the information that we're going to be putting in here. So then you're going to go down and continue the information exactly like it's presented in figure A. I already have it ready to go, so I'm just going to click on here, this A3. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click paste so I can paste my information in here. And you should have this information in yours as well. And so this is what you should look like once you get to that point. So go ahead and stop the video. Make sure you have all this information exactly like it is shown in here. And then we'll move forward. So I'm going to show you how to resize a column. You can see that some of these here, I have 19th century textiles. That's supposed to be in this cell here, and you can't see it. And same thing right here. We have a Christmas Carol, can't see the end of it. So if I go up to A, the difference between A and B and that line, and I get these double arrows here, and now I'm going to double click. And it's going to resize that column so it fits the longest ones. You see how Vanderbilt Mansion Tour fits exactly in there. And I can also do the same thing with B. So I'm resizing my column by double clicking on it. And that's going to be really helpful to be able to see everything in your data table. I can also insert a column. So if I want to put something on the left-hand side of this column, I can go up to Insert, and I can go to Column Left, and it'll insert a new column. Now this becomes my B column, and I have an A column right here. I can also do the same thing if I just right-click and go Insert Column. It'll go right there. Okay. Now I can also undo that. So if I wanted to undo that extra column, I go up here, just like everything in Google, and I can click undo. So we're going to go through how to autofill things. If I go up to column A, and I go to cell 3, and I'm going to type in month, and I'm going to type exactly, and you can follow along with this, September, October, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight September and October because I'm going to eventually type in all of the months. But Google Sheets has a nice way of autofilling for me. So I'm going to grab this corner down here until I have this solid black cross. And I'm going to grab that little corner and I'm going to drag right down. And Google is smart enough to recognize that I'm typing in all of the months. And so it's going to automatically fill in all of these months for me. Autofill can also do this with numbers. If I type in 1, 2, 3, and I highlight all of them, I can take it all the way down and it'll count upwards for me. Now it's really important that I grab all 3 of them because then it can recognize that there's a pattern here. So it's looking for patterns. If I just grab this one cell right here and I pulled it down, it only sees the 1, and so it's going to copy all of those 1s into the cells below it. So once I get to that point, I can get rid of any extra that I have, and we're going to go to formatting. So I can bold these to make my data table look really nice and neat. See, these are the headers. If I was going to put like numbers on below here, and maybe these are my variables, I would want to have these bolded so that they would stick out. And so I can just grab them, highlight them, and then bold them, and they'll unbold. And then I can bold them, I can unbold them, and I can italicize them and all that. But I'm going to keep them bolded for now. And I'm going to increase the font up to 14 just to make them stick out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my master field trip list because this is the top part. I'm going to make this, let's make this 20. Make that really stick out. That'll be good. And then if I wanted to put this in the center, right there, so I can center my column. See how I selected my column, went up and clicked this center here. I can also go left, I can go right align, and I can go center. It's centering it down that that B column. And so I can also undo any of that like we've seen before. If I undo, I can also redo, and it's going to set it right back to where it was. Another really important part of Google Sheets that's really helpful is I can also merge cells. So if I'm seeing this master field trip list and I want this to be centered, you know how I have, if I click left align and it won't align all the way to the left side of the whole sheet, it'll align to like the left side of the cell. If I wanted to merge all of these cells together, I would select the ones that I wanted to combine, and I would either right click and go down to that was merge. Oh, it's not there. So I don't have to, I guess I don't do that. I thought they had a button there that would say merge, but I'll select them all here. And I know that this one works because I saw it earlier. I go up here and I click merge cells. And now they're all one cell. So this is basically one big cell. And so anytime I type in there, it's going to select all of that. So I can center in the middle of it. I can go to the right side of the whole list. That could be really helpful with some formatting stuff as you're doing that. A couple other things that we can show. I can show that I can make borders around these. So I can make the borders a lot bigger. If I wanted to put, borders around the title, or if I wanted to maybe say I just wanted to put a border on the left side. Now see how my border popped up there. I can get rid of them right here, and then I could put a border around the broad data here, or I could also put borders around every single little cell. And so I'm going to get. And so just this little quick intro to Google Sheets, if you needed a refresher with it, with the formatting and how to lay some things out on it. The last part of this is to be able to share it. So if I go up to the top right corner, right now it's private to me. And when you're working with group members, or if you wanted to share something with me, one way that you could do this is you could either copy the link and post it into a email. You could change the link. So an important part of this is to make sure that it is available for everybody in your school district at Minnewaska, or you could click anyone with the link. That means anybody that you send the link to can see your data table, your spreadsheet. And you can also go up here and you can type anybody in to this add people in groups. And so if you want to send it to somebody email in your group, you could also send it that way, and then they would have access to it. And if I typed in, let's say I would put in my other email, I could put myself as an editor, a viewer, or a commenter. So if you just wanted somebody to check it over your work, you'd put in as a commenter. If you were working in a group together and you wanted to be able to work on it at the same time, you would put in as an editor, and then you could add a message to this. Hey, do your part. Thanks. And then you could send it to them and they'll get a notification. And not in my G Suite organization, but I'm going to share it anyways. And so that's your intro to Google Sheets, how to format your Google Sheets, how to make one, how to use autofill, and then also how to share it.